Hello and welcome to the Dad Whisperer. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Watson, and I love that we get to meet again today where you know that my heart is to equip you as fathers to not only invest in your daughters and your sons, but also to remind you that you are representing God as a father to your kids. And kids thrive when dads dial in. There it is, plain and simple. And if it's your first time tuning in, I'm so glad you're here. If you're a seasoned veteran, by now, I welcome you too. I say the more the merrier, right? Well, let's get this show on the road. And you know that every week I use a grid of on your mark, get set, go. So on your mark is the topic every week. Get set is I fill that topic in so that you understand it at a heart level with stories, with research, with stats. And then go, every week you have a go step to put your heart of love into action for your daughters, for your sons. And because I'm a dad-daughter expert, I focus on the dad-daughter relationship, but you often tell me, this applies to my sons too. And I say, exactly. Well, here's the topic today on your mark, 10 reasons I'm thankful for fathers. It's Thanksgiving week, so I figured why not give you a dose of positivity today to invest in your heart space, increase some endorphins, and let you know how valuable you are as dads. I think sometimes in the nitty gritty of life, we don't always hear enough positive encouragement. So I wanted to be that to you today, an encourager that lets you know why I'm thankful for you and to build you up as dads. How's that sound? Well, serving as a backdrop to this encouraging conversation today, I want to tell you about an article that I just read titled Why Positive Encouragement Works Better Than Criticism According to Science. And even though this article focuses mostly on the workplace relationship, with an employer to an employee, I know you're going to see the correlations between a father and his daughter, father and his son. So this author says, by focusing on positive interactions with your employees and encouraging an upbeat emotional state as often as possible, you'll be more likely to have a happy, productive, and efficient team. Well, the article goes on to say that the emotional state of a leader can rub off on an employee. Well, we've all been in jobs where we've had bosses that have had good days and bad days. And I know we can attest to this, can't we? That the emotional state of a leader rubs off on the employees. This article goes on to say they do that even when they're not sharing specific feedback. Just being more upbeat can improve the emotional state of your employees as well as help them be more efficient and coordinate better. Because that causes our frontal lobe, where we do thinking and reasoning, to light up. And when that happens, positive emotions, now listen to this, those positive emotions enhance our creativity, motivation, flexibility, productivity, and clear thinking. Did you catch that list? Is when there is positive interactions, encouragement, we have more creativity, more motivation, we're more flexible, we're more productive, and we're clearer in our thinking. So again, if that works employers to employees, how much more from fathers to kids? So if you want your daughter or your son to thrive in those areas, you want to bring more positivity to them. So like we just heard from research, your emotional state, Dad, will rub off on your kids. So today, I want to help release endorphins so you get to see what it feels like to be encouraged, to be built up and invested in. And I'm letting you know why I'm thankful for you. So even though I'm not to the go step yet, I thought right here out of the gate, I want to give you an action step where you as a dad could invest in your daughter or your son this week in a way that lines up with Thanksgiving theme, Thanksgiving week. What if you wrote a list of 10 reasons why you're thankful for your kids and gave each one of them that specific list? Here's why I'm thankful for you. It's Thanksgiving week and I wanted you to know. How about that as a go step? Well, here's my list of 10 reasons that I'm thankful for you as a dad. Drum roll. I'm going to do it David Letterman style, starting with number 10. I am thankful for you as a dad today because 10, you are the one whose opinion matters most. Now, you may think your opinion doesn't matter all that much. Maybe even if your daughter is an adolescent, she's giving you a clear message. I don't care what you think, Dad. I'm my own person. I'm going to do it my own way. But I'm telling you, just try criticizing her and you will see that your comment matters. Your opinion matters. Here's the truth, Dad, of life for us as girls. Your daughter will assume you don't care if you don't say anything. And think of that love bank model that I've talked to you about before. 5 deposits to every 1 withdrawal is what makes a healthy relationship. So ask yourself, have I been building up my daughter lately? Have I been building up my son? Have I been encouraging them? Because Dad, here's why I'm thankful for you. You are one whose opinion matters most. And that may not feel positive, like, wow, Michelle, you're kind of getting down on me. No, listen to this. Our country will change from the ground up as kids know their dads believe the best about them. That even when there's a question about something done, that they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you as a dad know your child, right? That us as kids say, wow, my dad believes in me. His opinion is being internalized because I'm taking in his view of me. So like I said, in case your daughter's pushing you away and making you think you don't matter, don't listen to her. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. Your opinion matters. So here's the deal, Dad. Your daughter needs to know what you think of her, not just what you think. So she needs those positives too. And if positive encouragement increases motivation and well-being in daughters and sons, then why not give more of it? You want your kid to be motivated and built up, flexible, productive? This is how you do it. So your kids need you telling them encouraging things about what you notice so they can thrive. Okay, that's number 10. Number 9, here's another reason I'm thankful for you as a dad today. Your attention communicates more per square inch than you'd ever imagine. I'm not sure why it does. It just does. You'll have to believe me on that. Dad, your attention communicates more per square inch than you'd imagine. So sometimes I've had dads tell me that they feel like all they are is a bank to their kids or a shuttle service. Sometimes they even maybe feel beat up or used and abused, right? Like all you want is what I give you money-wise or time with taking you to things, but not because you want to be close to me. And I'm saying, I get that. Dads sometimes say on the underbelly, that hurts a little bit. I know moms feel that too. And yet when a dad pays a small amount of attention to his kids, even a small amount, they light up from the inside out. In fact, just this week, I was talking to a 24-year-old woman who's going through a rough patch with a guy. And her dad right now is really kicking it up a whole bunch of notches and being intentional in pursuing her heart. And so I thought, well, I might as well ask her this question. I said, hon, if you had to choose between the guy and your dad right now to spend time with, who would you pick? And she literally had tears in her eyes and she said, my dad. I'd pick my dad. Yes, moms, you're essential and necessary. You're important on more levels than anyone will ever know. But every mom out there would probably support me in saying that her dad was vital to the core of her sense of identity, for better or worse. And if that relationship was positive, she knows that her dad helped her shape her own self-esteem and self-worth. And that laid a foundation for her about how she still views herself today. So Dad, your attention communicates more per square inch than you can imagine. The 8th reason, drum roll, number 8 reason why I'm thankful for you as a dad today is when you show up, it carries more relational points than most anyone else. Again, moms, don't shoot me here. You're going, wait, when I show up, it matters. It does. I'm not questioning that at all or saying that, but I'm saying, think about you, women that are listening. When your dad showed up to something, it made an impact, didn't it? I'm sure you guys would say it too. And a lot of women are out there doing some heavy lifting going, oh my goodness, does that not carry the same weight? Yes, it carries weight. But Dad, I want you to hear that you may say, oh, mom's got that base covered. I don't need to show up at the game. Yes, you do. Change your schedule around. You don't have to be at every event, every game, but you've got to be there for the big ones. Ask your kid, which ones this season would be most important for me to come to? I can probably make about 6 or 8 or whatever. I can't be at them all. You tell me which ones would matter the most to you. Get the conversation going. Let's even think about this in reverse. What about the kids whose dad wasn't there or isn't there? Maybe that's a way to think about this from the other angle. Jim Daly is president of Focus on the Family. You've probably heard his name. And I had the privilege of getting to know him when I was a guest on Focus on the Family last year. So in preparation for the interview, I read his book. It's simply called one of them, The Good Dad. And he tells this story about having an alcoholic father who didn't step up to the plate very well in the dad department. And he shares his experience as a kid where once a year, he said it was like clockwork in his little small California town, where there was a dad's night for the football team. And he said that he usually loved being under the big bright lights and was comfortable on the field. But he said most of the guys back in 1976 had their dads around. He said there were just a lot more intact families than as compared to now. But he said those who didn't have a father would typically invite someone to be a stand-in dad. And he said, so on that big night, dad's night, the announcer over the loudspeaker would one by one call out the name of a father who would then run out onto the field to meet his son because all the guys were lined up. But he said, one year, I forgot to get a stand-in dad. Just that one time. So he said the announcer, Jim Daly, announces it over the loudspeaker. And then he paused. And oh my goodness, I could literally feel my heart breaking for him when he said there was a pause and no dad ran out on the field. So the announcer literally said, Jim Daly's father is not present tonight. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? I mean, he said he wanted to crawl into a hole because he felt so exposed and embarrassed that he didn't have a dad. Now listen to the powerful way he ends this story. Want to know how important fathers are? Ask the guy who didn't have one. So dads, your presence matters. Thank you for showing up for us kids. Because when you show up to the game or to the recital or even the dinner table, I know dinner table, traditions are somewhat of a lost art anymore. But dad, showing up for dinner, it communicates that your kids are getting a solid deposit from you that shapes them forever. So the seventh reason why I'm thankful for you as a dad today is that when you provide for her needs, she settles into knowing she'll be okay. Now let me make that more broad so you know I'm applying this to sons too. When you provide for your kids' needs, they settle into knowing they'll be okay. Well, you remember taking a psychology class back in the day and probably heard about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Can you picture that pyramid? It's like a triangle. And at the base, what Maslow said is when basic physiological needs are met, food, water, rest, that sets a foundation for the rest of our healthy development. So at the bottom are those physiological needs. And when those are met, then we feel safe. Then there's love and belonging. Then he gets even higher up on that ladder or that pyramid to esteem. And then the top one he calls self-actualization, which I know is kind of a psychobabble word, but what it essentially means is that when someone is secure in who they are, they give out because they know they have something to give. So it's about reaching our potential and moving beyond ourselves even at times, right? I'm giving out beyond just my own needs because I have already been invested in at the basic, essential levels. So dads, that's why I said for this one, when you provide for her basic needs, sometimes that's food, clothing, shelter, but it's even those areas of love and belonging, esteem, in order that she can be all of who God made her to be. So like I said, this sounds maybe a little bit psychobabbly, so let's turn to scripture for a minute. I'm sure most of you know John 15, which is the passage that's called the vine and the branches. So we pick up that story where Jesus says, I'm the vine, my Father's the gardener, and then all of us are the branches. So can you picture that? There's the whole vine, we're the branches sticking out of it. And Jesus said, and my dad is the one that comes and tends to the garden. In other words, me and my dad partner together in caring for you, branches. So do you see how when Jesus says, if you remain in me and I remain in you, apart from me, he says you can do nothing. He's saying you have influence and impact when you're connected to me. So can you see how Jesus is saying, when your basic needs are met, you belong to me, you're part of this family, and my dad and I work together, you are included in this relationship. And when your needs are met, you know that you can do nothing outside of this context in this relationship. But now here's the self-actualizing part. Jesus says in verse 8, this is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit, showing yourself to be my disciples. So can you see how we're encouraged to give out from the overflow that we've been given? So when we know we're connected to the vine and that God as a father is tending to the vine and we're attached to the vine meaning nothing we do is on our own. We have safety, we have love, we have belonging, we have esteem, and then out of that, we bear much fruit and show ourselves to be his disciples. Isn't that cool? I mean, so God as a father is modeling, Jesus is modeling to dads the importance of having a place to belong, and providing for your kids' needs lets them then become all of who God made them to be. Number 6, the reason that I'm thankful for you as a dad on this one is that your gaze communicates that she really does have value. Now, this one is often hard for dads to hear, that their gaze, the way they look at their kids, at their daughter, communicates that she has value, okay? Because I get that on Mars, that really isn't all that big of a deal. You guys don't need that much eye contact to have a conversation. I know. The research says men stand shoulder to shoulder more often than face to face. So I get that whole idea of your gaze may not seem like it matters, but Dad, we are thankful for you because when you look at us, it communicates that we have value, that we're worth your time. But just so that you know, it's not just my opinion about how important that gaze is. I want you to hear from a couple women that I asked the question, does the way your dad sees you impact the way you see yourself? Here's what a teenage girl said to me. Yes, because I know that my father has a good judgment of character, especially compared to those that I've dated. She said, my dad, when he looks at me, I internalize that and it affects how I even see other guys. Pretty cool, right? Here's what a 22-year-old single woman said when I asked, does the way your dad sees you impact the way you see yourself? She said, absolutely. My dad is one of the very few important men in my life, and I value his opinion of me. When I'm around him, I am sure to behave in ways that meet his approval. I seek and yearn for it. So on behalf of daughters everywhere, here's what I want to say to you, dads. Thank you for peering in and getting close enough to look at us. And sometimes not even knowing how much that means to us, but doing it still. Especially when there's 10 other things you could be doing and looking at. Thanks for taking the time to look in our eyes and see what's going on. Thank you, dads, for doing that. Okay, here's the number 5 reason I'm thankful for you as a dad. Your smile tells her that she's loved and special. It tells your sons that too. So you get the fact that here I'm talking about your eyes and your mouth. I'm talking about your head here. I'm thankful for your head. How about I say it that way? So Dad, when you take the time to smile, right, it communicates so much positive affirmation to us. Right? So much is going in to say, you matter. Kind of goes back to that original study I told you about where the emotional state of a leader rubs off, right? That how you are in the way that you engage with us as kids says, you're loved and special. So just in case you disagree with me in saying that your smile is important, again, I get that it's a Mars-Venus thing. I want to quote from an article titled, There's Magic in Your Smile, How Smiling Affects Those Around You. Here's what the article says. Did you know that your smile is actually contagious? The part of your brain that is responsible for facial expression of smiling when you're happy or mimicking another's smile resides in the part of the brain where we have an unconscious automatic response. So they gave pictures of someone smiling in this study to people, and then they directed them to frown while they looked at a picture of someone smiling. And they said instead they found that the facial expression went directly, automatically, unconsciously to smiling by the person looking at the picture. Isn't that cool? So if you're smiling at someone, they said, it's likely that they can't help but smile back. So if your daughter or your son is having a bad day and you're like, what's up? You just need to have a better attitude. Why don't you model it? Because here's the deal, Dad. Your smile will lead her to follow your lead, right? So today has been even about leadership woven in. She will follow your lead and she will smile back. That's what the research shows. She might not do it right away, but she will do it. Does that make sense? Okay, what number are we on? Number 4. Here's the next reason that I'm thankful for you as a dad. You make her day with the way you respond positively, with encouragement, validation, support, and presence. Let me say that again. Dad, I'm thankful for you because you make her day better when you respond positively with encouragement, validation, support, and presence. Listen to what one gal said. She's 36 years old. This is a gal I talked to. She's even married, but she said, when my dad says something complimentary, now that I stop to think about it, it's like it touches me into my cells. Strange but true. When my dad shows that he's delighted in me, it warms me to my very core. That is a powerful way to say it, isn't it? I don't think I would have said it like that, but wow, when her dad affirms her and takes the time to look at her and respond positively with encouragement, validation, support, and presence, she literally feels it all the way into the core of her being. Thank you, Dad, for taking the time to speak into your daughter's life. I'm thankful for you for that today. And number 3, I'm thankful for you as a dad because when you're proud of her, she thrives. In fact, she'll do more of what you want her to do when she hears that you believe in her. I can speak from my own life on this one. I'm at a place in my life, obviously, where I don't necessarily have my dad's physical presence around all that much when I'm doing a lot of things. But my dad has a way of constantly, continually affirming me. He'll say things. He's always said this, Michelle, you get more done in a day than most people think about doing in a day. And I actually take that in and say, my dad knows I'm a hard worker. He knows I'm productive. He knows I'm loyal, that I'm committed to the things that I say I'll do. And my dad believing in me still to this day helps lead me forward and launch me into the things I do. And I love knowing that he celebrates that with me. So Dad, if you haven't told your daughter lately that you're proud of her, why don't you make that your go step? I'm going to do that today. The number 2 reason I'm thankful for you as a dad is when you're around, she feels safe. Oh, I wish dads understood that one more. I remember as a kid, I had so many fears of the dark, going to camp. I had a lot of fear growing up. And it was really hard for me to feel safe because my dad, I remember when we moved to Portland, he worked nights, 3 nights a week. It was really hard for me to settle when Dad wasn't there. In fact, I just listened to an interview by a guy who said, I sleep with a bat by my bed and everybody else is cozy under their duvet. And he said, I'm always on alert. I'm there ready to protect our whole home and our family. And I thought, man, dads, do you hear enough how much you are appreciated for how you protect, how you make us feel safe? Because I know growing up, I never even realized my dad carried that weight. So thank you, dads, for doing that. Okay, here we are on number 1. The number 1 reason I'm thankful for you as dads today is that your support makes her believe that she can do anything as long as you're there. For this one, I want to kind of combine these last 2 points about, you're making her feel safe when you're around, and when you believe in her, she can do anything. That's what she tells herself. I can do anything because my dad believes in me. Is my friend Lori Austin, who I've had as a guest on the program. She just moved to Dallas, Texas from Portland. And she put a picture on social media and here's what she wrote. This guy, my hero. Now, mind you, Lori's in her 30s, but this is how she's saying my dad still has this much value to me. She said, Papa Joe brought me to Big D, all 2,050 miles of it, in a bumbling, bouncing, loud truck. Just having him here brings me comfort, tells me I'm safe. I love getting to share these 3 days with my wonderful dad. We laughed, told stories. We stumbled across lawns in the middle of the night. We've learned how to be truckers. We've eaten excessive amounts of jerky, and we've gotten into a rhythm of truck stop bathroom breaks and fuel fills in only 15 minutes. She said, so thankful for his sacrifices for me. We made it to Dallas. Love you, Papa Joe. Can you hear in that she said there, just having him here brings me comfort and tells me I'm safe. Dads, thank you for the way that you make us feel safe and make us believe that we can do anything as long as you're here with us. So I am going to summarize all 10 things, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. Number 1, you, Dad, are the only one whose opinion really matters the most, or you're a key one. Thank you, Dad, for that. Number 2, your attention communicates more per square inch than you can imagine. A third reason I'm thankful for you is, Dad, when you show up, it carries more relational points than almost anyone else. Number 4, when you provide for her needs, she settles into knowing she'll be okay. Number 5 reason I'm so thankful for you as dads is that your gaze, the way you look at your daughter and your son, shouts that they have value. Number 6 reason that I'm thankful for you is your smile tells her that she's loved and special. Number 7, you make her day with the way you respond. Number 8, when you're proud of her, she thrives. Same with your sons. Number 9, when you're around, she feels safe. Number 10, your support makes her believe that she can do anything as long as you're there. I'm thankful for each one of you dads and the way that you are literally changing the core of our culture from the ground up by being intentional and consistent in pursuit of your sons and your daughters' hearts. And I can speak as a daughter and say, when I know that I'm loved by my dad, I truly believe that I can change the world. So to sum it up, I simply say, thanks, Dad. So on your mark today has been 10 reasons I'm thankful for fathers. You've heard stories and stats. So between today and next Monday, why don't you tell your kids 10 reasons you're thankful for them? Write it out. Tell them why you're proud and why you're proud of them. Tell them why. And let them know by the way you smile and look at them that they have value. As always, you can write me at drmichelle@thedadwhisperer.com. Go to my website, drmichellewatson.com, where I have free resources. You can buy my book. You can sign up for my blog. So dads, get out there today. Know that I'm thankful for you. Your families are thankful for you. Let's change the world from the ground up. Go dads.